Sonny, can I talk to you for a moment? There's something important I need to say.
Huh? Philip, aren't you supposed to be at work right now?
I left early.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm having lunch with a friend right now. Can we talk later?
That friend of yours is a man, isn't it?
Huh?
Don't try to hide it. The guy's a young host, right? You're probably enjoying yourself with him at a hotel before heading to the club, right? A man 20 years younger than you, someone almost the same age as your son? The world's really gone downhill.
Oh, so you figured it out. Well, in that case, it's actually perfect timing.
Perfect timing?
You see, I've decided I'm going to marry him.
What?
He was so thrilled when I told him I'd buy him a mansion. He eagerly accepted my proposal.
A mansion? Where on earth are you getting that kind of money?
Oh my. My father, who holds a board position at a company, can easily make it happen, even for another woman. It's no problem for him.
Again with your father.
When you're a woman as glamorous as we, age doesn't matter anymore.
That's not your money, though.
My father's money will become mine since I'm his only daughter. So it's basically the same thing. Which means I don't need you anymore, some ordinary, underpaid office worker. I'll divorce you.
Is that so? Then come back home for a discussion about the divorce.
No way. From today, I'm going to live with him.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'll send the divorce papers later. Just sign them however you want.
You know it's not that simple, right?
If it's about the alimony and child support, don't worry. I'll have my father talk to you and take care of it. Once you figure out the amount you want, just let me know. Goodbye for now. Hey, haven't you submitted the divorce papers yet? I hope there hasn't been a postal accident or something that's preventing them from reaching you.
They've been delivered.
Then hurry up and submit them to the city office. I want to marry Renji as soon as possible.
Renji, your affair partner, the host, right?
Could you stop calling him my affair partner? In my mind, Renji is the one. You've essentially become the affair partner now. Oh wait, no, you didn't even make it that far. You're just a poor, middle-aged man who couldn't even be a proper affair partner.
I don't understand how you can say such things to someone you've been with for 20 years.
It doesn't matter if you understand or not. The truth is, I always wanted to marry someone as rich as my father, or even wealthier. But for some reason, I ended up being forced into an arranged marriage with an ordinary office worker like you. Sure, you were good-looking, so I compromised and married you. That was my mistake. I'm done living according to your salary and lifestyle. Plus, starting next month, I'm going to live with Renji in the mansion my father bought for us.
Wait, you've already bought a house?
Yes, I have. When I told my father, he gave me $500,000 and bought a mansion for us, paying in full all at once. So please hurry up and submit those divorce papers. I'm in a rush, all right?
Hey, Dad. Sorry to interrupt you while you're working on the weekend, but can I talk to you for a minute? What is it? I got a call from Grandpa and he left a message for you. Which Grandpa? Mom's side. What did he say? Well, he mentioned something about the house's ownership and seismic reinforcement and... Ownership and seismic reinforcement? Yeah, and he also talked about complaints to the home builder and possibly even a lawsuit. I have no idea what he's talking about. That doesn't ring a bell, but it definitely sounds serious. Right? So when I told him I didn't understand any of that, he said to have you contact him. So could you call him back when you have a chance? All right, I'll get in touch with him after work. Thanks. Oh, Dad? What is it? About Mom. Ah, I see. She's seeing someone, isn't she? Yeah, I kind of figured you'd notice. Well, yeah. By the time you're 18, you're not an idiot. I've noticed you've been spending more time lost in thought lately, and Mom hasn't been coming home for a while. If she's not just visiting her parents, then it's pretty clear, right? Yeah, you're right. I've been meaning to bring it up, but I couldn't find the right moment. It's fine. Are you getting a divorce? Yeah. Actually, I already have the divorce papers from Mom. I see. Well, I'll say this now. I'm gonna stay with you, Dad. Wait, are you sure? Of course! I don't want to live with a mother who's cheating on you. It's disgusting! Is that okay with you? Of course it is. Actually, that's been my biggest worry, to be honest. I'm always gonna side with you, Dad. Thanks, Davis.
Hey, Philip. Did you submit the divorce papers yet? I want to get married to Renji as soon as possible. When we move into that mansion my father bought for us, Renji's going to carry me over the threshold. I've dreamed of that moment for so long, and I want to make it happen as a newlywed couple after we've officially registered our marriage.
What on earth are you talking about? You're an adult. Stop acting like a teenager in some fairy tale.
It's not like I'm asking for something unreasonable. It's the first step of our new life together, a special moment, and I want it to be just right, with us moving in as a married couple, starting this new chapter as husband and wife.
You're acting like a child. The mansion is supposed to be ready next month, right?
Yes, that's right. So please, can you hurry up and submit the papers?
Do you not know that after a divorce, women can't remarry for 100 days?
Wait, what?
Yes, there's a rule for that. Strictly speaking, it doesn't apply to all cases, but based on what I know, you're likely in a situation where it will. I'm just saying you should probably look it up. I'm planning to submit the divorce papers next week.
Are you serious? Well, I guess if that means I'll officially be free again, fine, I'll accept it. But listen, you need to hurry. I have my plans, and I'm not waiting around forever. Oh, and by the way, the house you've been living in, consider it yours. But remember, it's actually under your father's name, right? Now that we're divorcing, you're going to have to change the title. Good luck paying off that $100,000 mortgage, though. It's on you now. You'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Huh? The house has always been under my name.
What?
Your father helped out with some of the down payment, but he didn't have ownership of the house. It's been mine all along.
Wait, seriously?
And as for the mortgage, don't worry about it. I paid off the remaining balance in full already. Thanks for the help, though.
What? You paid it off in full? But how could you afford that? Your annual income is just $70,000. Where did you get $100,000 from?
Your father helped me out with that.
Wait, what? My father?
Yes, he gave me the money as part of the alimony.
Alimony? Wait, what do you mean alimony? I didn't know anything about that. So that's why you paid it all off in full?
Yes, and actually I'm going to be receiving money from him for the alimony itself, too.
But wait, why is my father's name coming up all of a sudden? Why does he have anything to do with this?
I guess you didn't know about this yet. Here's the thing. About that mansion you were so excited to move into with your beloved Renji, you might want to rethink that. Your father actually made it clear to me that you're not allowed to live there.
No way! You told me that I could move in there. Why am I being told this now?
Well, let's put it this way. You've deceived your father into giving you $500,000 for that mansion. And once the truth came out, it was inevitable that things would turn out this way.
Deceive him? That's not what happened. You're twisting the story.
Well, didn't you tell him that the house you were living in now was defective? And that you were too scared to stay in it, so you needed a new one? Didn't you say that?
Wait, how do you know that? That's not something I told anyone.
Your father called me the other day.
How could you even know what was said?
Apparently, when he purchased the mansion, he did it under his name, but now with all of this chaos, he wants to know if it should be transferred into my name. He wants to make sure everything is taken care of properly now that you've been caught in this lie.
What?
And if the house you were living in was really defective, that could lead to a legal case against the builder. Your father also wants to prepare for a lawsuit to ensure he's protected.
Wait, a lawsuit? You're talking about suing someone? But that's not true, right?
Well, it's not true, but I had to explain everything to your father, including your affair. Naturally, he's furious right now.
No. So what about the alimony and the child support?
He told me you'll be paying those out of your own pocket.
Wait, what? I'm supposed to pay that?
And about the remaining $100,000 on the house, your father covered it, but now he's making it clear you'll have to pay him back. Good luck with that.
Wait, are you telling me I have to start working now?
I didn't hear anything specific about that, but it sounds like that's what's gonna happen.
Hold on a second. I am the daughter of a wealthy family, you know. I've never had to work a day in my life. And now you're saying I have to get a job? But what kind of nonsense is this?
What are you complaining about? You're not even 40 yet. People your age are still working hard, both men and women. This isn't some retirement age situation. You should be able to manage.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, you'll have to figure it out. It's not up to me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Your father said, from now on, Sonny's future will be entirely managed by me. It's no longer something I have any control over. He also mentioned that you'll be excluded from his inheritance.
No. You're lying, right? This can't be happening.
I'm just telling you what he said. I'm out of the picture now. But you'll have to handle the alimony and the child support. Good luck with all of that. My ex-father-in-law, who was always incredibly lenient with his only daughter, Sonny, finally reached his breaking point when it came to her latest actions. Up until this point, he had indulged her every whim, even when she showed signs of being spoiled and reckless. But this time, her affair with the host had gone too far. It wasn't just a matter of personal betrayal anymore. It directly threatened the credibility of his company. The news about her affair had the potential to destroy the reputation he had worked so hard to build, and that was something he simply couldn't allow. He couldn't turn a blind eye to this situation. The consequences of her actions weren't just emotional, they were financial and professional. His anger was something I had never seen before. He wasn't just upset with Sonny for her betrayal, but also with himself. He realized that by enabling her behavior for so long, he had contributed to this mess. He had allowed her to believe that she could get away with anything simply because she was his daughter. But now, faced with the reality of the situation, he understood that his previous leniency had been a mistake, and he vowed not to make the same error again. In an attempt to teach Sonny a lesson, he decided to take drastic measures. He took her out of the comfortable environment she had grown accustomed to, an environment where her beauty and charm had allowed her to manipulate people into giving her what she wanted, and placed her into a completely foreign and challenging situation. According to what I've heard, he put her into a job where she was surrounded by women and forced to navigate an unfamiliar workplace where she couldn't rely on her usual tricks to get by. It wasn't an ideal situation for someone like her who had always been used to getting her way by playing the part of the innocent and alluring woman. But this time, that tactic wouldn't work. She would have to face reality and learn to fend for herself. Unfortunately, the host she had been seeing didn't stick around to face the consequences of his actions. As soon as the alimony payments were made, he quit his job at the club and disappeared, heading back to his rural hometown. It seemed like he had no intention of sticking around to deal with the fallout of his involvement with Sonny. He wasn't interested in taking responsibility for his part in the mess that had been created. He was gone as quickly as he had appeared in her life. For Sonny, this meant that her financial and emotional support system crumbled almost overnight. With the host gone and no one left to rely on, Sonny found herself in a much more precarious situation. She didn't have the luxury of depending on her father's wealth or support anymore. She had to figure out how to support herself, something she had never really had to do before. For someone who had always been used to living off the kindness of others, or in this case, the generosity of men, the sudden reality check was a difficult one to process. She had no choice but to go out and find work, even if it meant taking a job that was beneath her usual standards. The job she ended up with wasn't glamorous. In fact, it was far from it. But it was a job, and she had no choice but to take it. As she tried to adapt to her new reality, Sunny began to struggle. The working conditions weren't ideal, and the relationships with her colleagues were strained. From what I understand, she was constantly at odds with the other women in her workplace. It seems that Sunny had a way of rubbing people the wrong way, particularly when she was unable to rely on her usual charm or manipulation tactics. Without the ability to use her beauty and allure to control the situation, she quickly became isolated. She was now forced to interact with people who weren't interested in catering to her every whim, and she didn't know how to handle it. For the first time in her life, she had to deal with the consequences of her actions, and it wasn't going well. Each day seemed to bring more stress, more tension, and more frustration. She wasn't used to being in this position, and it showed. Her new coworkers weren't sympathetic to her plight. They didn't care about her past or the way she had lived her life up until that point. They only cared about the job at hand. And for someone who had always been the center of attention, it was a hard pill to swallow. She wasn't used to being just another person in the crowd. She wasn't used to being looked down upon, especially by women. Over time, she began to grow more and more bitter. Her once beautiful face, which had been a source of pride, now looked worn and tired from the constant stress and emotional turmoil. She became consumed by her frustrations, and it wasn't long before her coworkers started to distance themselves from her. The isolation that had already started to take hold deepened, and she was left alone with her thoughts. She tried to put on a brave face, but it was clear to everyone that she was struggling. During this period, I received several phone calls from her, although I never answered them. She called the house phone a few times, probably hoping for some sort of emotional support or understanding. But by this point, I had made up my mind. I wasn't interested in offering her any help, not after everything that had happened. I had been patient with her for far too long, and I had allowed her to manipulate me in the past. But not anymore. I wasn't gonna be her safety net anymore. I wasn't gonna bail her out of the mess she had created for herself. One day, when I happened to be at the house, I overheard my son answering the phone. I wasn't sure who it was at first, but I soon realized that it was Sunny. I heard him shout into the receiver, "Shut up, you're so shameless," before he slammed the phone down and hung up on her. The call seemed to have been one too many, and it was clear that my son had reached his limit as well. He had been just as hurt by her actions as I had, and now he had no patience for her. After that call, the phone never rang again. It seemed that Sunny had finally understood that no one was willing to help her anymore. She was on her own. Now, from what I've heard, Sunny is living a much harder life than she ever imagined. The comfort and luxury she had once taken for granted are long gone. The money and the men who had once been at her disposal are nowhere to be found. She's struggling, trying to make ends meet, working tirelessly at a job she never thought she'd have to take, and trying to rebuild her life in the aftermath of her reckless decisions. I don't know if she regrets her choices. Perhaps she does, or perhaps she's too proud to admit it. But one thing is clear, her life has changed in ways she never anticipated. The consequences of her actions are more far-reaching than she ever realized, and now she has to face them alone. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.